Hello everyone, this is Project 110. We're out by the pond project. Um, Something I've been working on for quite a while, but just started up the channel so we can go through this journey together. Um, I've been out working on it some today, and I'll post video footage of that. I just wanted to introduce you to the pond project so you can get an idea of what we're working on. Not a project that I'm in a hurry to do, it's just we're in a severe drought, so it is very conducive for digging. Here's another angle. Not sure if the size or the depth or breadth comes through in the video. But it's probably in this area, it's probably about an acre. The pond is not that size yet, so I have quite a bit to dig out over there on that side. This side where I'm standing is back about as far as it can go to the tree line, but this over from here to where you see the excavator sitting, that still needs to be dug back that way towards that tree line. So just trying to move dirt. Name of the game. Move as much dirt as I can with my little Sany 50. And yes, I understand if I had a bulldozer or a much bigger excavator, I could probably do this in a day or two. But that would not be fun, as much fun to me. It would be fun for 2 days and then I would be done. I enjoy running the excavator. It's relaxing to come out here into the woods and just work on the pond while it's dry. So I'll take you guys along on this journey. It's probably going to be another few months before it's done, but I will post videos along the way so you guys can see the progress. If you have any tips or hints or suggestions along the way, feel free to share them. Okay, we're just gonna dig a little bit while the water is down. You said I'm by no means an expert. This is the first excavator I've ever owned, first one I've ever operated. I've got about 70 hours on it. And so far, it's done everything I needed to do. I've already dug this part out some, but since we're in a huge drought, the mud / quicksand has dried out a little bit, so it's letting me get back down in here to dig it out just a little bit more. I really don't want to go too much further. Than where we're at. It will definitely fill up once rainy season gets here. We're just in a severe drought. I think one of the worst ones we've had in decades. And it's a good thing. I'm actually trying to keep the pond dry. That way I can work on it. Because working in the mud is not very much fun. It makes for a huge cleanup of the machine afterwards. Guys would like a review of the machine, just just let me know. Said it's got just over 70 hours on it, so I've had it long enough I can do first impressions on it. But overall, I've been pretty happy with it. As you can see, probably in the video, the soil here is very sandy with some, assuming with some clay and some limestone mixed in. So I'm not worried about really how long it takes. For me, part of the fun is the process. And I get to learn how to run an excavator. Sounds like a win-win to me. If I was doing it for a living, I would have a different opinion. But to me, this is all about the journey and just the dream of the property. I'm not trying to get this perfect. For one, I'm not sure that the bottom of the pond needs to be perfectly manicured, but I'm just trying to get a rough shape, a rough layout, make sure I'm happy with the layout once I'm done, and then if I feel like I need to come back and smooth it out or dig a pot a little bit deeper or whatever the case is, I'll come back in. My main goal is just to try to move the dirt while it's so dry. Okay, over here you can get kind of an idea of how much it's been dug out previously. Basically, I've just been working my way from the center, working my way out, and all of the dirt, or most of it, will end up being part of the pond bank. Not worried as much about a pond dam, if you will, just because it's more of a, I don't know, what you might want to call a watering hole for cattle, where the water will be below ground level. So I don't know that I need a pond dam in the traditional sense. position here. So one challenge without having a really large excavator is you can only reach out there so far. Clear out some of this grass so I can see what I got to work with here. It does mean that I end up transferring sometimes the dirt multiple times with the excavator, which again doesn't make it the fastest, but I need time in the seat to become a better operator, so I don't mind. Zero tail swing machine, so probably not as stable as a non-zero tail swing, but it's not horrible. Like I said, this is my first and only machine I've ever run, so I really don't have a lot to compare it to, or anything to compare it to for that matter. It seems for a zero tail swing seems fairly stable. I do have a mulcher that I run with it, and haven't run it with a lot of hours, but I ran it a little bit. I will be doing, and I can do videos of this machine running the mulcher. If you guys have some interest, let me know, and I will prioritize accordingly. believe this is a 36-inch bucket, 36 or 38. Obviously it's a ditch or a grading bucket, but the soil here is so soft that I don't need to use a bucket with teeth. And the machine is more than strong enough to not only dig but lift this bucket. I don't know if I would go with a bucket much bigger, not because it's not strong enough to dig with it, but when you get off to the side, being a zero tail swing, it does can get tippy if you're not careful. So I would not recommend going with a bigger bucket unless you were a very skilled operator, for which I am not, but that would be my advice. Unless you can get maybe a counterweight. I'm not sure if you can get a counterweight for this Sany SY50 or not. Haven't looked into it to see if you can, if that's an option or not. Alright, I think that's about as much as I can do without moving this pile of spoils that I've made here. I've got to get that out of the way so I can keep continuing with what I'm working on. As you can, I don't know if you can see, but there's a dugout ditch or a trench here that runs down this way, and then there's an exact same one that runs over here along this side up to the bank. So I'm just working my way backwards off of this peninsula. So I think that's about as much as I can do without moving the spoils. So let's spin around here and back out of here. All right, thanks for joining in, guys. That's our wrap for today with the Sany Excavator working on the pond. Definitely way more episodes to go. There'll be an episode coming up moving all the spoils that we dug out, and kind of see the progress that we've made. Lots more to do, and it's all been done with the SY50U. Moved a lot of dirt for a 36-inch bucket.